Today I'm going to take you through my YNAB, which is the budgeting app that I really like using. It's like a website and an app. I do these every few months, and I actually have a whole playlist down below if you want to check out some of the other ones I've done before. But essentially I'm just kind of showing you like what our budget looks like and how I use this software, because I do really love this software. YNAB is zero-based budgeting, but it also kind of works like a cash envelope system in the fact that you are putting your money into certain categories or envelopes, if you want to call them that. You're not actually physically moving your money into any place. Like, you can keep it in whatever, like savings or whatever accounts you use. But within the actual software, you are like saying like, you know, this is what I want to use to buy a car. This is what I want to use to pay my mortgage. This is what I want to use for this. And so for me, that works so incredibly well. The other thing that makes it a key difference is that you have your money at the very beginning of the month, like at the top. So like, I don't know, your paycheck is $4,000. That is the money that you're using to budget, instead of going backwards, which is what a lot of budgeting does, where you really don't know how much money that you have for the month and you're just spending, and then at the end of the month you add everything up and you're like, oh my gosh, like I spent more than what I should have. This is like, you know, going the opposite direction, where you are only budgeting the money that you currently have in your account. I do have a free month if you want to try it. I will put the link down below so that way you can try it out, and you know, you can have a whole month of what's this November, probably a good month to start with, you know, like all the Christmas stuff coming up. I'm gonna go through and show you our budget. Sometimes in these videos I go through and show you like what we spent the previous month. This month though, I wanted to focus on credit cards and the credit cards that we actually have enjoyed, because I signed up last year, which is when I first started using YNAB. I think I started using YNAB like in the later part of the summer. And the great thing about YNAB is that you can, you know, use your credit cards like a debit card. And so it really helps prevent like overspending if you are using the software. And so I signed us up for our first credit cards, because before that, like, you know, we just had our debit card and we didn't pay attention to credit card stuff. But I have learned how to use, you know, like earn rewards and do everything so well without actually like spending extra money. Like, you know, we're using it like a debit card. Like, these are things that we would have just already bought. So I wanted to go through some of the credit cards that I think aren't really worth it and which ones are, and also ones that I kind of wanted to sign up for in the future. I'm not actually opening any new ones currently, just because we are selling our house and hopefully buying one just down the road. And so I didn't want to like, you know, do anything like that right now. In total, I think this year, and this is not including any sign-on bonuses that we got for opening up cards. Like, a lot of times cards will have, you know, like a $500 bonus if you know, use it within this many months or whatever. So this is not including sign-up bonuses, but I went and added up all of the rewards for the entire year for our cards, and we ended up making over $1,300 just in rewards. So that is just free cashback money that if I would have only used my debit card, we would not have made. And so that's really nice, because part of that I'm going to use for Christmas presents and, you know, putting it towards like things that we need in the future, or sometimes I put it towards memberships. So like my Costco membership, if I get cash back from Costco, that goes to like paying my Costco membership or Amazon. So I will go through that while we're going through my budget here. And I also will show you a couple things that I do to get maybe like a little bit cheaper price on some like memberships or subscriptions. So strap on in, because this might be a little bit of a long video. Okay, so a little bit about us. Alvin works his full-time job. I'm a stay-at-home mom, but I actually have multiple different revenue sources. I do YouTube, I have an Etsy shop, I now have a home bakery. I make all fresh milled products, and that has been a really big thing that has grown this year. So you'll see like sometimes maybe months we have like more income and some we have less, and that's because like mine fluctuates so much depending upon the amount of things that I'm doing or what's happening. We built a garage last Christmas, and so in here you'll see that I have like garage mortgage, because we're paying off like our loan for the garage. You won't see our house mortgage because we actually have it through my husband's job, so all of that money comes out before we even see the paycheck hit our accounts. Same for like retirement and like health insurance and stuff like that. So what, you know, you see in our account isn't essentially everything that we pay for, because a lot of things get taken out like before before the paycheck hits our account. Here at the top is our ready to assign. This is all of the money that we have to put towards things for the month. I actually do have this micro bakery payment, and so I actually have a business account where most of my money goes into. I'm actually saving for a big bread oven and a big spiral mixer and lots of different things. Like I've bought many things this year for my business, but I'm also saving for even the next step that I need to take. So I don't always pay myself a payment for each month, depending upon how many things I'm either buying or, you know, if I'm saving for things. I did end up paying myself, you know, a little bit under $900 for the month of October, like sales and stuff, but I have thousands of dollars in my business account that I am saving to purchase like an oven and stuff. So I just kind of figure that out differently every single month, just depending upon like, because my goals change so much through the month. So this month I actually do have a good chunk to throw in here. If you're curious about my baking business, in the month of October I did 4.2K in sales. My profit is about 70% of that, and that doesn't include like revenue from YouTube and Etsy and stuff like that. So that's just my bakery stuff. I'm actually gonna have a baking video go up soon showing you again like kind of, you know, how I prepare for a market and stuff like that. And as I grow, like I will do more videos of kind of like in depth what I'm doing. In saying that, I am going to move this money up to ready to assign, so that way we have like the full amount, $7,000, to divvy up in sections. So we're gonna go through now. That was just my little holding category that I like to put money in, you know, if I don't want to spend it throughout the month and, you know, wait until the beginning of the month. So here, our garage mortgage, we're gonna do our $1,089.34. That's our payment for the month. And if you see, like, it takes the money out of the ready to assign. So it's really nice because you're like essentially filling that up. And then once that actually comes out of your account, because I have all my banks linked, it will like, you know, show like, oh, I had my money sitting there. Now my money is used to pay for that. And you're not using your money to pay for other things that you need for other things. All right, Comcast $73.80. Dominion, I have like a refill up target, so you can like set targets for each of these things. And so, you know, sometimes in like maybe the dead of summer or winter, we're paying more for electric, so that's why I want to always keep $300 in there. But as you can see, we still have $112 in here, so like our bill wasn't $300. And it's nice because, like, you know, I can have that money sit there in case there is a higher bill month, but like I just have to put $187.38 in here to hit my $300. Mint Mobile, we've actually had that now for a year. We just had our 1-year anniversary and I absolutely love it. We've had zero problems. We pay $30 a month, like together, for both of us to have our, you know, phones and stuff, which is just great. Our State Farm did go up a bit because we changed our policy a little bit. So anyway, it's $660, and that's also like, it does include a savings thing that we have, so that's not all insurance. It does have I think like $250 of it goes to like a savings account. Trash pickup is $23. Water is like a bi-monthly thing, so $65.04. All right, then I have flexible spending. Those were like bills that, you know, you obviously have to pay. Then I have flexible spending. So trips, I started putting like $100 in here every month for, like, you know, if we have to go and get a hotel or, you know, do things like that. So just random trips. Clothing, I'm putting $150. I might put a little bit more in here though, because I actually am like, I've been on a weight loss journey, so I've lost like over 30-some pounds. And I just now am like fitting into the smaller size, and all my other clothes are just way too large. I can't get away with them anymore. And so I just bought a bunch of clothes from Old Navy and Amazon, so that way I could have clothes for the winter time. I am actually selling some of my old clothes, so I did make some money back. That's not in this account yet because I just did it and it's not in here yet, but you know, it's kind of expensive to buy clothes, so I might need to put more in there. All right, then we have a credit card membership fee. So one of the credit cards that we use is US Bank It's the US Bank Shoppers Card, and last year when I signed up, you got membership fee for free. So the membership fee is $95, and so all last year, like, I had it for free. And the one reason I like this card is you get 6% back on Walmart, and not a lot of cards do that. I think Walmart now does have a card for Walmart Plus members to get 5% back, but I also use this card to get 3% back from Costco. To pick 2 of your 6% categories, there is a cap. I think it's $1,500 for the 3 months, so the quarter. So your quarterly cap is like $1,500 and you get to pick 2. And so I usually do Walmart and then Lowe's, but I have changed it to like IKEA sometimes. But Walmart is what I like predominantly use for this card, as well as Costco. So then Costco is 3% and then everything else is 1.5. So anything that doesn't fit in like another credit card, I actually use this card because 1.5 is more than like a 1% on some of the other cards we have. Even paying the $95 membership fee, which I actually just did, it is totally worth it because we made almost $700 back in credit card rewards from this. And so yeah, it was definitely a card that we really liked. So that's the US Bank Shoppers Card. It's the only one that I kept that has an annual fee. So I'm saving for the annual fee for next year because I like to get ahead on that. Okay, fun and outings. $50, that's just, you know, if we're going to a pumpkin patch or, you know, something like that. Then we have gas, $150 more for that. Haircuts and grooming. We have health, I'm gonna do $50. Home things, I'm gonna do $50. Hospitality, I'm gonna do $25. That's like for when I have like cookbook club or things like that. Then $50 for household goods. I'm gonna put $40 in for lawn care, but then after that, I think we only have one more payment to do because we pay someone to mow our yard. So this $40 will cover that payment, and then all throughout the winter we won't have that. And I'm just gonna wait until the summer to save for it. I don't feel like I need to save for it throughout the year, since I want to focus on a couple other things. Medical expenses, we're putting $100. Miscellaneous, we're doing $50. Personal care, we're doing $35. And tithes and offerings, we're doing $80, but we really need to up that in the future. Then alcohol, we're doing $50. Dining out, we're doing $75. Groceries, I did up that just this past month because it was lower than that, and I actually did have some left over, but I had to use it towards like other things. Then $25 for mailman snacks. Gonna get my cart ready for Christmas. I have it out all year round, but I want to like make it special for Christmas. Then $69.92 for our raw milk subscription. Okay, then we have Alice, $75 for activities and fun. That's like, you know, if maybe I needed to get more kinetic sand or something, or we go to like a children's museum, babysitting, in case me and Alvin go out on a date. Then she just started ballet. I actually just signed her up, so that's gonna be $55 each month for her to go to ballet. And then $25 for any like craft or homeschooling type things. $50 for essentials, so that's like if she needs more clothes or socks. Actually, I just ordered her socks. And $80 for music class. Music Together is a great music class. Absolutely highly recommend. We've been going for over 1.5 years now, and like she loves it. Okay, now here's another credit card. So like I save for Amazon Prime, like for our membership. But we got the Amazon credit card, which you get 5% back for all of your Amazon purchases. And then I think it's also like 2% back on like dining. So we use that as our dining out card because we don't really dine out very often. But the 5% back on Amazon is so great. And I think we've made back almost $500 with the card just by using it for Amazon purchases and stuff, because I shop a lot at Amazon. Actually, we might have even earned a little bit more, but our Amazon membership came due like a month or 2 ago, and so I cashed out some of the rewards in order to pay for our Amazon Prime membership. So even though I save for the membership, I'm actually getting the membership for free now because of the cashback rewards, are free money for it to, you know, to pay for that. Same thing here with Costco. I just paid my Costco membership. I actually have the executive membership, and I had upgraded because I actually have some friends that go with me, and then I also buy my baking supplies a lot of the times at Costco. And so I was able, you get 2% back like through your membership card if you have the executive membership, and that's not even like a credit card, it's just like your membership card. But I think it's like $130 for the year, and I got my like check or whatever for the year, and I ended up I think almost getting back $170, and so I was able to use that to pay for the membership, and then also I had a little bit extra left like as free money. It might actually be even more this year just because my bakery is growing bigger, so I'm spending more money at Costco and gonna be getting more cash back. So with Costco, I get the 2% back from the executive membership card, but then on my US bank card, I get another 3% for wholesale clubs. And so together, obviously I'm not using my US bank card for my business expenses. I have a different business credit card for that. I have American Express for that, and I get 2% back on that. So for my business, I'm technically getting like 4% cash back, whereas for us, I'm getting 5% cash back for Costco. So that's really good. Then Google Storage, this is just because I have so many pictures and videos. Netflix, I'm putting in $32.72 because we actually pay my sister. They added on to their account, and I think it was like $7.99 last year, but then it went up to $8.99, and I usually pay them for the full year, but we didn't realize the price went up in March. So that's why I had to add more to Netflix, because normally I would add, you know, $8 a month or whatever for Netflix, but it's because I'm gonna go ahead and pay them for the full year, and I owed them like $8 more. So that $120 I'm gonna like Venmo to my sister for Netflix for this upcoming year. Same for Nintendo Switch, like we're on a membership with like a friend, and so I need to Venmo them their $12 because that came up for the year too. Then Orkin, we've always had a really big tick problem at this house. I'm hoping we don't have to pay Orkin if we move to the next house, but we'll have to see. Then I put in a PlayStation 5 membership on YNAB because I'm gonna get that for Christmas. So I want to be able to create a target here to be able to pay for like the online membership every year. And so I haven't looked to see if there's a way for me to get deals, because I usually do, but for now I'm just gonna put in, it looks like it's $160 for the year. And so we're gonna save that as a target. Maybe I will do it for December, because I could put part of it in. I was gonna do it for like the entire year, so technically you would need it like next December, but since I didn't even buy the full year yet for this year, maybe I'll just go ahead and do this, and I'll do 80 this month and then 80 next month, and then next month I'm gonna create a brand new target saying I want to save that much all the way for next December, if that makes sense. So then it'll be like whatever 160 divided by 12 is. I would put in $13 every single month, which is great, but I'll just do that for now since I am hoping to get a good like Black Friday deal maybe. Okay, same for Spotify. So for Spotify, we actually share an account. I don't think that you can do this if you don't share an account. I buy the gift card from Amazon for a full year for $120. It actually went up because the membership went up. It was $99 last year when I did it, but it still saves you a couple dollars a month rather than buying it just monthly from Spotify, because I think it's $11.99 I think monthly for Spotify. But if you do a 120 gift card, which is for the full 12 months, that's only $10 a month. So you're saving like $2 a month, but hey, you're saving it. Then our streaming bundle, it's because us and our next door neighbors, like we have a bundle of like YouTube TV and Disney Plus, and I forget what else. Thrive Market, that's a membership for groceries. Walmart Plus, I actually, I have a bunch of money in here because I keep saving for it and I keep getting deals. Last year, I actually got the whole thing for free because of credit card rewards. So like they actually had like little extra rewards where it was like, oh, if you save this reward, like get this much off Walmart Plus. But I actually just went in there because my subscription is coming due, and this is gonna be my 3rd year of having it. And I went in to go cancel to see if it would give me the offer, and it did. So I went in and canceled, and it said like, oh, hey, do you want Walmart Plus another year for only $49? And I was like, duh, yeah, of course. So I do have a bunch of money here saved in Walmart Plus. And so I'm probably gonna be able to just snooze this or just move the money for something else that we might need, because I'm only gonna have to pay $49, and obviously I have double that amount in here. So maybe I'll just snooze it for an entire year. Then Xbox, because Alvin does have an Xbox, and I think his membership's gonna be coming up. I was going to get a 12-month Xbox gift card thing from Costco, because I think you spent $100 and or I think it was like a value of $100, but you only had to spend like $89 or whatever for it. So you were getting, you know, like $11 off, but they took it away literally right before I was gonna buy it. I'm gonna have to see if there's any hacks left for me to get Xbox membership cheaper. If not, oh well. Then the YMCA, it looks like $58.40. That's for me and Alvin to go to the Y, which I absolutely love because the childcare is included. And then YNAB is $9 a month, which I actually think I have some free months because of you guys signing up. So I haven't had to pay my yearly membership yet. Okay, then we have holidays and stuff. So I like to save like little bits here and there for like birthday parties, you know, our birthdays, anniversaries, little things like that. I'm gonna go through and save all of this stuff. I've gotta save more for Christmas, even though I'm probably gonna use a bunch of rewards to buy some things, but my advent calendars are coming up and I wanna buy some advents. $10 for Valentine's Day, a little bit for Mother's Day and Father's Day. Gifts I already have funded here. Holiday shenanigans, that's like buying trick-or-treat candy or buying a costume or whatever. And then me and Alvin both get like spending money. This is kind of outside like our normal spending. So like, for instance, like I have, you know, haircuts or clothing like in here, but this is if like I want to buy like a new purse, or Alvin wants to buy a new Xbox game, or, you know, just things like that. So $50 for me and $50 for him, and we both didn't use all of it from last time, so that's kind of nice because you can let it like build up and then buy something of substance later. Then we're gonna do a quarter cow. One of these days I'm gonna get another cow, but right now all my freezers are full. $100 for car maintenance. We spent a lot of money recently with this kind of stuff because like we bought a new oven for our house. So that was like $700 that we used from our home maintenance. And then Alvin had to get like new tires for me and all the oil changes in the car, and all of our registration I think came due. It was, yeah, so those were all empty. IVF storage, we had to do IVF to have Alice. We actually have 3 embryos left and I have to pay the storage fee every single year, which is like $600. Then we have our property tax and our real estate tax, which I actually have to look. That might be coming due here soon, I think. And then vacation is like our yearly beach vacation. Then we have our long-term savings. We do have an emergency fund, but I don't like usually show that on here, or we just don't touch it. If I have extra money, sometimes I will throw it into the emergency fund at the end, if I don't want to throw it into like these bigger goals. So big goals that we have is Alvin wanting to get a new phone, but I will say that this target I had for this year, and he definitely still does not need a new phone. So I'm going to push this out for next year, and I think maybe by next year he would want to get something cool. So that changes that to $43.51. We're gonna do that. We're just like, you know, adding on here. Me, I definitely don't need a new phone yet, so I'm gonna even push this. That's even further. Obviously, if something would happen to our phones, we would have money, like we could even put them together to like get someone a new phone if we needed to. So yeah, new phones, obviously we wanna save for those, but it's not something that's like detrimental, so I don't wanna put all of this money like to a phone. Now, baby wheeler number 2, that was something that we were working on at the beginning of this year. We had to do IVF. I did get pregnant, but then I miscarried at 10 weeks. So we still had to pay for all of that stuff, and it was over $3,000. So I did have money saved in here, but it, you know, it got used for that, and obviously you don't have a baby to bring home. But I haven't been saving for it. again, because I just have not been in that mindset, and we're not gonna do IVF, at least I don't think, this upcoming year. I was gonna wait for January of 2027, I think, to start it. That way it gave us enough time to save money for it again. But I think I might go ahead and put a target on here just to start saving some stuff, and we are probably gonna get some like extra testing done with this upcoming year. Now the other thing is though, is we did start an HSA, I think it was. So we are putting a little bit of money in there as well each month. So we technically have been saving, it's just not here in YNAB. I'm gonna say that we need $3,000. That means that we need to do $266.67 for this month. Then I did have a couple of these other things in, like a screen-in porch and stuff like that, but we're probably not gonna do that if we're moving. So the other things that we would like to work on is a new car for me and eventually a new car for Alvin. So I might go ahead and stick this $400 in one of those, or I might just go ahead and throw it in the emergency fund. Honestly, I should probably start a moving fund and put some money into the moving fund instead of putting it into the new car for us. So let me go up here to flexible spending, and we are going to add a moving category, and we're not going to put a target or anything. We are literally going to throw $300 in there because we'll probably have to buy, you know, rent a truck, buy boxes, things like that. And then the other $59.51, I actually want to put it into clothing. So that's what you want to do. You want to get all your money to zero and have a job for every single one of your things, or every single dollar, I should say. That is our full budget for the month. In regards to credit cards, we had the American Express Blue Cash Preferred, I forget exactly what it was called. It was the one with the annual fee. I got the annual fee for free all of last year. It gives you 6% back on groceries. That does not count for like Walmart and stuff like that, that can have things that are not groceries. So I would use it for like Aldi, Kroger, you know, things like that. We don't have an Aldi here in our town, so I don't shop at Aldi very often, which is why I shop at Walmart, and then I travel to also go to Costco and stuff. But we used it for those other groceries, and then it gives you 3% back in gas, and then a couple like other little things that we don't really use. But with this year being over, I think I only got like 100 and maybe 70 in cash back for that. And so paying a $95 fee, even though I made money on the end, I didn't feel like the $95 was worth it for me to like have that card. And so I actually dropped it down to like, I think it's like Blue Cash Every Day or whatever. It doesn't have an annual fee. You don't get the 6% back in groceries. I think you get 3% back in groceries, but you still get the 3% back in gas. And so for now, I just wanted to drop it down because then there's a couple other cards that I wanted to open once we're done moving and stuff. And so I'm gonna look at my notes because I wrote down, oh here, so for American Express, we made $212.89. US Bank, we made $677.42, and then Amazon, we made $421.61. So that all equaled like $1,300 or something. Once we're done moving and I'm looking at opening more credit cards again, there is a City Custom Cash that gives a top spending category. You don't get to pick, it's whatever your top spending category is. There's a $200 reward when you open it, or at least at the time of me writing this down there was, and you get 5% cash back. So I would make my other groceries for that, so that way it could be 5%. There's also a AAA Daily Advantage where you can get 5% on grocery, 3% on gas, and that is like a $100 reward. And then there's a cap of, I guess, $500 of cash back per year, which is about $10,000. There's also a AAA Travel Advantage, which is 5% on gas. That's also a $100 reward, but then there's a $350 cash back cap for the year, which is $7,000. The only problem is you can't have both of those at once. So I think what I would do is, instead of me having the American Express and like paying the annual fee for that one. I think I'm gonna do the City Custom Cash and make that the 5% grocery category and only use that for groceries that like aren't at Walmart. And then I think I'm gonna do the AAA Travel Advantage and use that as my gas card, which would actually up my gas from 3% cash back to 5% cash back. And then I would get about a $300 reward from both of those, like opening new accounts. After we move, that's my plan, is to try those out and kind of have this only works if you want to have like a bunch of different credit cards. I actually like have a little cheat sheet for Alvin so he knows like what to use for each thing. And so if you like playing that game, it's actually really fun to make all the cashback rewards, as long as you're responsible enough to not just swipe your card and use things. But like I use YNAB, so like we are never buying anything without knowing that we indeed have money to buy that thing or have money to cover that purchase. And so we don't have any problems with like credit cards and not paying them. Like they're all paid in full every single month. I actually pay them like twice a month, you know. And so that's what's really fun about this, is that we're making all this money back without actually like spending any extra money. We're just swiping our cards and being responsible rather than just a debit card. So those are credit cards that I've enjoyed this year, ones that I actually want to sign up for once we're done moving and I can kind of do that process, and just kind of showing you like some of the cashback rewards that we've gotten from this year and how using YNAB and also utilizing credit cards can be beneficial if you do it correctly. I think that's it. I think I showed you everything. So if you have any questions, like drop them down below. Don't forget, I have a free month for you guys if you want to try it out. You know, it's going to be January and the new year, and perfect time to get all your cashback rewards for next Christmas and be able to use them for all that stuff. So I will see you guys in another video soon. Bye everyone.